What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WTF LOL FTWBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. More importantly, we are booking the invasion angle, and tonight we are going to be running the King of the Ring. We've been building up to it. We've got our matches set. As always, I say this every pay-per-view, pretty much almost on every show. I'm excited for this show, but I've been excited about this show for a long time. But like I said, for every pay-per-view, I'm kind of like that because I planned. And it's cool to see it finally come into, fruition, or whatever the fuck that word is. Either way, we had a couple locker room incidents before the show. Of course, all positive. Lance Storm taking the Christian route on Sunday Night Heat, which technically it's supposed to be on the same night, despite Heat being on Wednesdays. And I don't think I'm going to change it. I think I'm going to keep it that way. And when I say Christian, I mean the wrestler, not the religion. Either way, Lance Storm lightened the mood when he did funny drawings of everyone in the locker room. And then we had a couple protege moments as the Undertaker passed along tips on psychology to Mark Jindrak, and Austin passing along tips of selling to Rhino. So tonight we have the King of the Ring semifinals. Kurt Angle will battle Chris Benoit. Edge will battle Christian. And it's going to be a good one. It will be a good one. So let's go ahead and run the show. We have a total of 3 pre-show matches to start off the night. Our opening pre-show match gets a B-, which that's not too bad. In a decent pre-show match, Team WCW, Lord Steven Regal, Chuck Palumbo, and Lance Storm defeating Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hotty, and Dean Malenko when Chuck Palumbo defeated Scotty 2 Hotty with the torture rack. Scotty, unfortunately, was the weak link, but that's to be expected. Malenko with the C+, Scotty with the D+, so that was the weakest. Rikishi with a solid C. Lance Storm with the best rating of the match, which is no surprise, with a solid B. Chuck Palumbo with the C+, and Lord Steven Regal with the B-. All in all, good match. Regal's improving in both Rumble and performance, so good show all around. Originally, I penciled in Ron Simmons in this match, but I had another idea for Ron Simmons, and that leads me to our next match, which gets a solid B. Hell yeah. Solid B rating here in a decent pre-show match. Ron Simmons defeating Raven, the returning Raven. Raven just returned from rehab, because we sent him there for, I think it was like some hard drug or something like that. Either way, Raven returns to the pre-show, gets a solid B. Holy shit, I just realized we're being held in front of 84,000 people in a generic area in the tri-state, because I don't think this mod had a lot of arenas, apparently. So I always get generic arenas, apparently, because I'm too popular. Either way, Raven makes his return to lose and suffer, because punishment to Ron Simmons. Simmons beats him with the Dominator, making his 3rd defense of the Hardcore Championship. Fitting, why not Raven getting a Hardcore title match? That's why I took Ron Simmons out of that match and replaced him with Regal. Simmons had a B rating, Raven with the B-. Look at Ron Simmons. No worker improvements, though. And then our main event of the pre-show gets the worst rating of all the matches. A C+, I guess we should have started with this one, but whatever. And a pre-show bout that had decent wrestling, but didn't have much weight in heat. Rey Mysterio Jr. and Power Plant defeating Spike Dudley and, defeating the Dudley Boys. When Rey Mysterio defeated Spike with the Springboard Hurricanrana, and that's probably the main reason why I had Rey Mysterio be in this match. Originally, I guess I could have put it opposite and had Regal team with these guys and Rey Mysterio team with Palumbo and Storm, but I wanted to see Spike and Mysterio. I just wanted to see it. Sorry. Got the worst rating. I should have built it up opposite the way I did, but whatever. So C+, Regal returning to the ringside. Spike Dudley with the C rating. Believe it or not the lowest. With a C rating, Devon and Bubba with B+, or B-, excuse me. Rey Mysterio Jr. with the C+. Sean Stasiak with the lowest rating in the match with a C-, and Mark Jindrak with a solid C as well. So Spike Dudley on the same level as Mark Jindrak. That's a pretty good, yeah? Also, Jindrak is improving in performance, so You keep on going. Let's look at Mark Jindrak. Look at that. Star quality, high morale. He's killing it. All right, nerds and geeks. We are going to start off King of the Ring with the match, and we get a solid B rating to open up the show. And About That had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. And our first match of the King of the Ring semifinals, Edge defeats Christian in 10 minutes, 25 seconds with the spear. So back and forth action. If you guys watch Sunday Night Heat, they had a little bit of an interaction where Christian actually wanted Edge to pretty much lay down for him, let him get the win. And Edge was pretty pissed about that. So I don't know if I made this like a story thing. I had them work the crowd, so that's what I did because they're the opening match. And yeah, this is pretty interesting. So either way, Edge gets the win, moves on to the finale in the King of the Ring to either take on Kurt Angle or Chris Benoit. And interesting here, Edge with the B-, Christian with the B. Apparently Christian is the superior in-ring talent. Who would have guessed? Also, got the show off to a strong start. Good on both these guys. Christian improving in performance. Let's look at the dirt sheet here. Edge has got charisma, star quality. Christian's got charisma, star quality. High morale, which is surprising because he's got a horrible gimmick. Chemistry? Motivation? Why is Christian so motivated? I know Edge is mad at me, so... But yeah, still, good match, guys. Good match. Solid B rating. Very happy with that. We then go to a C+ rating after the match is over. Edge walks over. He helps Christian up. He lifts him up. Once he's up, Edge then extends his hand over to Christian. Christian, of course, he's hesitant at first. He's not sure if he wants to, shake Edge's hand or just punch him and knock him out. But he goes ahead and he pulls his brother in and he hugs him instead. And then he raises Edge's hand in the ring, showing that, you won fair and square. You beat me. Congratulations. And he rolls out of the ring and lets Edge celebrate. And we can now confirm. I mean, we could already confirmed it before, and I don't really have to do it here, so I'm not really gonna. But we can just take this off as well. No point. Edge moves on to the finale to either take on Benoit or Angle. No worker improvements as usual. We then go to a B+ rating. Hell yeah. Backstage, we see Kurt Angle. He's actually prepping for his match against Benoit tonight, when in comes Benoit's manager and Kurt Angle's former manager, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Angle stands up and he says, "What do you want, Flair?" And Flair says, "Easy, easy now. I just wanted to stop by and see if the nerves are getting to you." I have a horrible Ric Flair impersonation. I just want to point that out. It sounds nothing like him. Then again, my Angle impersonation is just like my Edge and everybody else. Mostly my normal voice because they don't have a mimical voice. Either way, Angle then goes on to say, "Why would they? I've already won the King of the Ring once before, and after tonight, I'll be back. I'll be the back-to-back King of the Ring champion." That's my Angle voice. Never mind, I forgot about that one. Ric Flair then says, "But you've never beaten the Canadian crippler, Chris Benoit. And be honest with yourself, Kurt, you've had it pretty easy this year in the King of the Ring tourney. I mean, no offense to Hugh Morris and Chuck Palumbo, but you're not the underdog in those matches. But tonight you face a real challenge, a challenge you've never beaten and never will, and that challenge is the Chris Benoit challenge. See you out there, champ." And he walks out, and Kurt's just sitting there, kind of, pissed off that Ric Flair, even stopped by, just irked him off. So either way, Ric Flair did a masterful job improvising with the crowd, so there you have that. Thank you, Rick, for that one. In fact, does it say something like that? Very good improvising. Look at that. Muy bien. We then go to a solid C. Hell yeah, it's a pretty good match for a women's match. No offense, but and the game itself never really. What's the word I'm trying to look for? It doesn't really I don't know. It ranks the women's matches as low, pretty much, is how I'm saying. It's the game. So it's always happy to see a solid C here when we have women in action, as Lita defending her women's championship against Jacqueline, and About That had decent wrestling and little heat. There you go. Lita defeating Jacqueline in 7 minutes 44 seconds with a quick roll-up. So got the quick roll-up on her, making her second defense of the women's championship. Lita with the solid C in-ring performance, and Jackie with the C-. Jacqueline's improving in performance. There you have it. We then go to a D+, where this is just a freestyle segment because really I don't have to write out a segment to tell you guys what's happening here. Lita starts celebrating. She's, referee hands her the championship. She holds up the title and all that, and then Jackie clubs her from behind because Jackie was just rolled up. It wasn't a solid, 1, 2, 3. It was a quick 1, 2, 3, and Jackie was just, feels like she's screwed over, so she attacks Lita from behind, starts beating her down. Referee, gets between her. Jackie backs off a little bit, and then once the referee goes to check on Lita, Jackie starts stomping down on Lita once again. Referee, starts backing her off and tells her to get out of the ring, and Jackie's like, fine, whatever. And the referee's just checking on Lita while Jackie just, backpedals up the entranceway, just talking her crap, talking her crap. It did lose the story heat, but that's fine, I guess. Solid B. That's a little low for the Undertaker, but this is a 1-minute segment, and it just features him warming up backstage, punching in the air. Like, punching in the air sounds stupid, but you guys know what I mean when he's like, foo-foo, like, all getting ready for his match, while the commentators all just playing up like, well, there's the Dead Man later on tonight. He takes on the Giant in a no-holds-barred match. You can imagine the Dead Man wants to get his hands on the Giant more than anything or something. That leads us to a B+ rating, which just is a rivalry segment. Pretty much, they're coming up next, ladies and gentlemen. We have the last semifinale match in the King of the Ring, and it'll be between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. And boy, these two have had quite a rivalry. And then a video package plays, pretty much showing off all the rivalry because this is most likely going to be the end of the feud between Benoit and Angle. Bobby Heenan was pretty weak, and that reminds me, guys, I forgot to mention this, so it's pretty good that it got no negatives here, because there's no negatives on any announced teams. On the pre-show, I had Mike Tenay and Jerry the King Lawler working together, and on the main show, Jim Ross is calling it with Bobby the Brain Heenan and Dusty Rhodes, so that right there just sounds like an amazing announced team if you ask me. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Dusty Rhodes and Jim Ross announcing together is pretty good. And if Bobby Heenan proves to be weak, I may just move it to maybe Jerry the King Lawler, Dusty Rhodes, and Jim Ross. So I kind of like Bobby Heenan more, but if it keeps doing that, maybe we'll have to move up to Bobby Heenan, because this is a B+, and he's pretty weak here. It did get the crowd hotter, though, and it gained heat to the Benoit Angle storyline. So there is that. But just the rivalry video. I don't know why I checked worker improvements or tried so hard to. And then we go to a solid B rating in a superb match. Chris Benoit defeating Kurt Angle once again with the Dragon Suplex. Holy hell, go. Jesus, Benoit. With the Dragon Suplex after, of course, Ric Flair interfered, so Flair getting involved. It's not really a straight, clean victory. We're starting to see more dirty finishes from Chris Benoit. He's starting to become a little more like the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair. And we're starting to notice it a little more. He doesn't really care about, he feels he's the best wrestler in the world, so cheating to win doesn't really bother him because he could win even if he doesn't have to cheat. It ensures the victory even more, pretty much. Ensures there's no fluke or something, you know what I mean? Benoit's starting to get that ego here, and Ric Flair once again coming to Benoit's aid. I'd imagine this being a back and forth. Angle maybe setting up for the Angle slam or something, or maybe even he has the ankle lock. Yeah, this is what I imagine, actually. Ankle lock, locked in, Benoit screaming, sweating, maybe ready to tap out. Flair gets up on the apron, distracts the referee. The referee goes over to Ric Flair. Kurt Angle has enough of it, pushes the referee aside, punches Ric Flair right in the face. Flair sells it perfectly, does his whole, and then falls on the thing. Like, I don't know, the only way Ric Flair can sell it, falls off the mat. But that's when Chris Benoit hits him with the Dragon Suplex, and then the 1, 2, 3, 13 minutes, 9 seconds later, and we now have a King of the Ring match confirmed between Edge and Chris Benoit tonight. One of those two men will be our King of the Ring. Angle with the B+, Benoit with the A. It gained heat even more for the Benoit Angle segment, and it finally ended what was honestly a storyline we've been running since we've started this show. I'll get a cough real quick. Okay. Ooh, I need a drink. So that's pretty cool that we've, finally ended one of the longest running stories that we've been playing off here. I guess like you can argue Austin and Triple H is one of the longer stories too, but technically they started off as a tag team where these guys have been feuding since we started, so this is the longest running story right now. That just ended. Benoit is improving in performance, and Kurt Angle is improving in Rumble, so all around good match, guys. Very happy with you guys. We then go to a B- where it's just the announcers putting over that we now know the King of the Ring matchup. It'll be Edge versus Chris Benoit later on tonight, yada yada yada. We don't need pre-booking, sorry. That leads us into a B-. Test and Albert come out alongside Trish Stratus. They make their way down to the ring, and once in the ring, Stratus takes the mic and she says, sorry, I had a burp. And I didn't want to say Stratus says, and then burp, but whatever. She says, this past week on Monday Night Raw, my boys defended their tag gold successfully. We proved a point and showed everyone that TNA truly deserved to be the WWF Tag Team Champions. Now, there still may be doubters out there, but that isn't why we're issuing the same challenge tonight. If we want to continue to add the prestige to the WWF Tag Team titles, then the only way to do that is defend against the top talents from both companies. So if there are any teams in the back that want to step up to my guys, then the challenge is out there. That is when Canyon's music hits, and out comes Canyon and Hugh Morris. And Morris says, we accept us, Canyon and Hugh Morris, like super excited. And Canyon says, would you shut up, you buffoon? I'm sure that's obvious by now. Test, Albert, we appreciate the opportunity and are happy to be the first ones to take advantage of it. The only question is, when we beat you, do we get the titles and Trish? Because Trish, I can tell you right now, being with Chris Canyon is way better than being with any of these three goons. And he includes Hugh Morris in there. I had to ad-lib it a little bit, but there you go. It did get the crowd hotter, surprisingly. The fans like them some. Well, then again, Trish Stratus is out there. But I'd like to imagine they're into these four guys as well. No worker improvements. That leads us to our next segment, which gets a solid B in an impromptu tag team title match. In a decent match here, Test and Albert defeat Canyon and Hugh Morris in 9 minutes, 39 seconds, when Test defeated Canyon, surprisingly, with the running big boot, so probably shutting him up after flirting with Test. They make their second defense of the World Tag Team titles. Canyon with the B-, Morris with the weakest rating of them all with the C+, and Test and Albert both with the B rating. So either way, good on everybody here. Canyon also is improving in performance. Canyon is just improving in everything. No. Wow, this did actually a lot better than I thought it would do. We then go to a B+ rating. And Michael Cole is backstage, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Cole here, and I'm standing by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley's locker room, looking to get a word from him before his title match against Stone Cold Steve Austin tonight. And that's when he knocks on the door, and Stephanie answers, and she says, what do you want, Cole? Well, I was hoping to get a few words out of your husband before his match tonight. My husband is far too busy preparing for his match to talk to you. She then turns to walk away, and then Cole says, well, maybe I can get a word from you instead. That's when she turns around. She says, okay, Michael, I'll answer a few of your questions. And then Cole says, well, Steph, we're all wondering what kind of mindset your husband is in tonight. I got to take a drink again. Hold on. I'm telling you, this cough is killing me. This personal rivalry between your husband and Stone Cold has escalated to pure hatred practically. And while a lot of people aren't sure that these two will be able to stay in the rules, and well, with Stone Cold Steve Austin being the champion, if your husband gets disqualified, counted out, anything like that, Austin will retain. Stephanie then says, Michael, the only mindset my husband is in tonight is a winner's mindset. My husband isn't worried about the hatred or the whether or not Rhino is going to come out there or Rhino is here and he's all these dumb little threats Stone Cold's been passing around. We're not worried about it at all. Tonight, my husband ends this petty little feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin and reclaims what is rightfully ours and what rightfully belongs to us, the WWF Championship. Again, had to go off script there a little bit, but whatever. Still a solid B+. Michael Cole performing poorly, but that's Cole for you. That'll be his career, pretty much. We then go to a solid A rating. Just another rivalry video package here, just highlighting the Undertaker and the Giants rivalry, showing pretty much Kane, Kane's injuries, Giants betrayal, so on and so forth. Again, Heenan week, so we might have to rethink Bobby Heenan on the main comm team here. May have to do Bobby and Mike Tenay for the pre-show bouts. That leads us into our matchup here that gets a B-. That's a little upsetting, but then again, we look at the time. Apparently there's a lack of selling, which that's unfortunate. But I won't lie, I'm a little upset with this rating, a B-. I know my buddy Chris is going to be upset with this too. But we have an exceptional match, it says. The Giant defeating the Undertaker with the choke slam. And I imagine, it was during the stump bump, which this is a no-holds-barred match, so what I'd like to imagine is the Giant just pretty much choke slamming the Undertaker off the entryway, on through like some tables or something like that, because it's a stump bump, whatever. And that takes the Undertaker out. 1, 2, 3. Giant wins the match. Proving his dominance, pretty much. Proving that he is what he says he is. He's the Giant, and he's pretty much a monster killer. You're going to step up to him. Look what happened. Undertaker did take the stump bump. Unfortunately, there was a lack of selling, which means these two were just going at it. They don't know how to sell. They're just beating the hell out of each other. Taker had an A star, so he did good. And I thought that said a B star for a second. I was like, what? Giant with the B+, so there you have it. We got to build Giant up a little bit, so I know my buddy Chris kept debating with me. Oh, we should have Taker win this match, but Giant needed to win it. I'm going to check to see the dirt sheet in a second to see really what happened here, but this was our Wild Brawl, the match of the night. It's only really the first match of the feud, too, so it wasn't like I wanted them to have the best match of the feud in their first match. So he did get the plus for the stump bump, going all out, well booked, inconsistency, stamina. Does he not have good stamina, really? What? Do they really not have that good of stamina? I got to check that out after this. They can't hold that much of a match. That's what. Oh, wow. We then go to an A-star segment, which in my eyes, this would be definitely an A-star segment. So I'm happy the game portrayed it this way. We see Diamond Dallas Page and the WCW World Champion Booker T backstage. They're with Shane McMahon in his office. And Shane says, listen, boys, tonight you two need to get along. I know it's a fatal four-way. I know it's supposed to be every man for himself. And I know the title is on the line. But we can't let Rock and Jericho walk out with our title tonight. We just can't. So please, put your differences aside and just work together tonight. And get rid of these two. And then, battle out between yourselves. I don't care. That's when Chris Benoit and Ric Flair come walking in. And Shane's like, Chris, Rick, what's up, guys? Chris, great match against Angle. Just got to get through Edge, and then the WCW will have the King of the Ring tourney. And you'll have a guaranteed shot at the WWF title at the Royal Rumble. That's when Chris Benoit stands up and he says, yeah, about that, Shane. You see, when I go on to beat Edge and win the King of the Ring tournament, I do get a world title shot at the Royal Rumble. But I don't want a WWF title shot. And then he looks right at Booker T, gets right in his face. He says, I want a WCW title shot. So it doesn't matter whether Booker T wins it, or it doesn't matter if Diamond Dallas Page, or it doesn't matter if Page wins it. And you know what, to be honest, it doesn't matter if Rock or Jericho wins it. Because come Royal Rumble time, it'll be back in my grasp. And he just kind of walks out while Page and, Page and Book each have their individual stare downs with Benoit for a couple of seconds while Rick's just sitting there smiling the whole time. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have to switch Bobby Heenan, unfortunately. Which, that's a shame, but whatever. Better color commentary. So, Bobby Heenan, he's really not helping us here. So, Flair helped Benoit. DDP was good. He just stand there, so he probably smiled. Probably smiled at Benoit. And that's why Benoit's improving in acting, because he smiled back. Oh boy, here comes the cough again. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're still alive. So let's move to the next segment, which gets a solid B rating, and about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Steiner brothers, the Steiner brothers go on to defeat the Hardy Boys in 9 minutes, 33 seconds when Scott Steiner defeated Jeff Hardy with a submission hold, Steiner recliner, whatever the hell it's called, and they captured the WCW World Tag Team titles. So in terms of in-ring work, Scott Steiner was head and shoulders above everyone else, and Rick Steiner, his tag team partner, was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. That's a shame. Scott's getting better at his gimmick. Of course, both teams showed great chemistry together. Well, the Hardys showed excellent. Scott and Rick showed great. Unfortunately, not enough selling shown. Definite lack of psychology. Jeff with a B+, Matt with a B+, Rick with a B-, Scott Steiner with an A star. Everything went well. Did better than Taker and Giant, so there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I don't know why that match did so bad. It's really confusing me, actually, why the Giant and Big Show did so bad. Or Giant and Taker. It's upsetting, actually. Maybe it's because it was a wild brawl? Anyone have an idea? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think happened there. Could have been time, but I don't really think. I mean, Steiners and them just had a great match in time, but is it because Giant and Taker? Whatever. Let's not even think about it anymore. We got an A-star rating here. Another rivalry video package, this time between Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it gained it some heat, signifying that this is our upcoming matchup. We move on to it. We get a B+ in an unbelievable match, nerds and geeks. Holy hell, in an unbelievable match. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeats Triple H in 18 minutes, 5 seconds, with the Stone Cold Stunner after following interference from Rhino, making his 5th defense of the World Championship. I really wouldn't imagine this happening with the Stunner. I'd imagine in, Triple H hitting a pedigree or something on Stone Cold, and Stone Cold kicking out, and then Triple H getting in the referee's face and kind of pushing him down, and Stephanie sliding in a sledgehammer, and that's when he's ready to hit Stone Cold with it, and you hear the fans gore, gore, gore or something, and Triple H is like shut up or something, and then you turn around and there's Rhino. Rhino hits the gore, and then he picks Steve Austin up, throws him on top of Triple H, wakes the ref up, referee gets up, 1, 2, 3, and Stone Cold Steve Austin defends the championship. So, of course, Triple H and Stephanie have great chemistry, and Steve Austin and Triple H have great chemistry as well, so there you have that. Bobby Heenan, still weak, which is unfortunate. A-star rating for both stars here, and it did lose heat. Of course, this was only 18 minutes. It didn't get the full 20-minute mark. So I don't think that's probably why it didn't get the A rating, unfortunately. I should have given it, but whatever. I'm happy with it. It says this is an unbelievable match. That's all that matters to me. I believe this was our storytelling match of the night as well. Also, I feel everyone's been calling it in the ring. Well, most of the people. I looked at everyone's psychology when I did it, so. We move to the next segment, which just gets a B- in a freestyle segment, or whatever. There's no real thing here. I was about to read it out. So it's pretty much just Austin and Rhino. Austin's asking for the beers. Austin and Rhino are sharing beers. They're putting over that Rhino's back. They're sharing their beers. Triple H is just sitting there, knocked out, while Stephanie's checking on him. And it's what it is, very much. Just Rhino and Austin drinking beer, pretty much. Lost the heat, though, so I guess in the end of the day, it wasn't the best angle. We then go to a B- rating here. What do you mean? That storyline ended. What? B-? Really? Oh, no. Well, there's a lot of other people on here, too. This is pretty much just following Edge and Chris Benoit's journey, signifying that upcoming is the King of the Ring match. Edge and Chris Benoit's journey is playing over. We see, Chris Benoit as he goes through Ron Simmons, Dean Malenko, Kurt Angle, Edge as he goes through Bubba, Lance, and Christian. So, all in all, that B minus isn't too bad considering it was everyone else was rated on overness as well. That leads us to our match, which gets a solid B rating in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat. Chris Benoit defeats Edge in 14 minutes, 52 seconds with the crippler crossface after a botched interference by Christian, which makes no sense, and Chris Benoit becomes the 2001 King of the Ring. So, what I'd imagine happening here is Ric Flair, referee coming down, probably Ric Flair looking to get involved. Maybe Benoit moved, Edge accidentally speared the ref. Ric Flair goes to slide in one of the titles, or maybe he slides in a title and the referee picks up the other one and he slides in another title. Either way, no, the referee has to be down for this. He slides in a title, and Chris Benoit goes for the swing or something, and he misses. Something like that. Either way, I don't know, he slides in a title, something like that. Christian ends up getting the title. He goes to hit Benoit. Benoit ducks or he misses, slips. This is what I had in mind. Now I remember. I'm sitting here like, I had something in my head and it's pissing me off that I can't remember. So Christian gets the title, right? He gets the title and he slips, air quotations here, slips, and accidentally hits Edge with one of the titles, leading to Chris Benoit to get the win. I don't imagine it happened by cripple or crossface or something. Because like I said, he's starting to get that ego here. So he takes full advantage of it, wins the match. Christian's just like, oh, crap. And Chris Benoit is this year's King of the Ring winner. Edge with the B-, Benoit with an A. Everything's going pretty good. Edge, those morale issues are really holding you back, buddy. You need to get out of this slump because you're making me regret pushing you sometimes. No worker improvements, but all in all, good match. Then we go to an A-star segment where it's just pretty much Chris Benoit being crowned the new King of the Ring. I'd imagine whoever's originally crowning him, one of the referees or whoever, is about to put it on, and Flair kind of pushing him out of the way and then crowning him himself or whatever. Something like that. So Flair's getting better at his gimmick, but he was also underwhelming, which Chris Benoit overshadowing his mentor. What's going on here? A-star, though. Good on you guys. Then we go to an A rating here. Pretty much just replaying the feuds between both Booker T and Jericho and Rock and DDP, how it kind of intertwined together to this point as well, leading to our main event of the night. Did I not freaking check? I forgot to take off that face turn for DDP, didn't I? Yep, look at that. I gotta take it off. It's not happening yet. I turned it too early. We go to our match, which gets an A rating. Won't lie to you, I wouldn't have minded that A-star, but A rating, still good, in an exceptional match. Booker T defeats Chris Jericho, Diamond Dallas Page, and The Rock in 20 minutes, 47 seconds, when he defeated Diamond Dallas Page with the scissors kick, making his 5th defense of the World Championship. So he didn't even beat Jericho or The Rock. He beat DDP. Booker T, in the long run, did exactly what Shane said. Get rid of Jericho and The Rock. Battle it between yourselves. And Booker T did it. Diamond Dallas Page was unfortunately off his game. Heenan, of course, still weak. Ignore that subtle mannerisms of face turn. Either way, Booker T with an A rating. Chris Jericho with an A rating. DDP with the weakest rating of a B+. And The Rock with an A-star. Rock and DDP, of course, gained heat. And Jericho and Booker T gained heat. But that's probably going to be the end of these feuds for now. No worker improvements, but all in all, this was a good match. Very satisfied. Booker caught charisma, slowly building the match well. Jericho did it as well. Look at this, everyone doing well. I'm very satisfied with this. Let's go on and end the show. Got an A rating on the show. Hell yeah. Catching up. A rating on this. Increasing our popularity in 26 regions. So that's our second pay-per-view to get an A rating. SummerSlam was the first one. So who should I congratulate in this? I feel like The Rock deserves to congratulate. You know what? It's going to be Booker, Should I do Benoit? I feel like it should just be Booker, Jericho, and The Rock because they're the ones that all got A ratings. But So did Austin in them, if I'm the only judge. But they also got the the A rating match, too, so. You know what? Let's go ahead and do it. We're going to go Booker T. We're going to praise him for a great... I feel bad for DDP because he's the one getting left out. It's like, really? Why do they get praised? But you got that B+, DDP, sorry. No, we're not going to be ripped for years. Praised for a great performance, and Chris Jericho. Praised for a great performance. There we go. I said those horribly. Booker T was pleased. Rock was happy with the speech. Jericho seemed pleased. Tony Anthony, the dirty white boy. Perfect person to end off our King of the Ring show with. What the hell? What? What? Is this real? Or is this just in the game? I think this is just a mod thing. Apparently, Stephanie goes under the knife. Stephanie McMahon has had breast implant enhancement surgery and is at home recovering. Her mother Linda has commented on her daughter's procedure, saying, "My first concerns are always with health issues. Stephanie had thoroughly investigated the procedure, and she had answers to all the questions that I asked. And so I felt comfortable that if it was something that she wanted to do, she should proceed. She had my full support. Male wrestling fans everywhere are said to be anticipating Steph's next appearance." Oh boy. Fantastic reviews for King of the Ring. Heat was also broadcasted. Oh, Angela Azteca not getting that new deal. Look at this. Geza Kallman Jr.? Who the hell are you? Are you even popular? No, you're not. Look at this guy. The Cage beckons Geza Kallman Jr., who has apparently accepted an MMA fight. The 31-year-old is said to be planning to start his training camp in a couple of months and will not be accepting any wrestling bookings from that point on. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen that yet. We do have a decision, though, so that sucks. I'm not going to be able to show you guys that quite yet. Mark Wolf versus Dave Prazik. Mark Wolf apparently went nuts on IWA MS Booker Dave Prazik. Okay. And apparently IWA MS is going to be dying. The vultures appear. So what do we got here? Well, we got a couple of opinions. Brian Kendrick was offered a contract by Osaka Pro. Good for him. King of the Ring got a 1.78 buy rate. I don't know what that means. Look at this. Scott Steiner. Matt Hardy doesn't connect with the fans. You should probably write the kid off. Okay. Ooh, look at Raven. Raven's got a little bit of issue with the Undertaker's protege. Mark Jindrak needs to learn how to sell. The kid's not worth pushing until that's addressed. At least he's honest. He said he's not saying he's bad. He just says it's not worth pushing until he learns to sell. Look at Scott. Scott Steiner doesn't know shit. Because Kurt Angle says, Matt Hardy's pretty in the good in the ring. You should push the kid. And then Heat got a 2.98. So very satisfied with King of the Ring. Before we end off this episode, we can go out here and check this real quick. Look at our top 100. King of the Ring, actually, is ahead of SummerSlam. King of the Ring was our best pay-per-view. And actually, should go back to that. Top 100. Not quite the best match, but Booker T's match with Jericho, DDP, and Rock is the second best match of the year. So that's a pretty good, yeah. And out of curiosity, let's look at some popularities here. Let's do it this way real quick. This is easier. It's just because they're all main eventers. So, Paige. That kind of affected him, actually. He went down in popularity. He was all that about that A, and then went down. But whatever, it's fine, it's fine. Benoit is finally in that main event picture now. Did I auto-push? Did he finally get to an A? No, he was an A. No, wait, we're in a new month, right? Yeah. Good for Chris Benoit. And who else was there? There was, Scott Steiner is an A. Oh, I thought it said he was an A. Giant's an A now. Look at that. Rock still got it. Everyone's still around there. We got most of our main eventers are A's. Minus Scott Steiner, DDP, and Jericho, but all in all, everyone else is doing pretty good. Either way, Nerds and Geeks, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTWBRB. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you guys for Monday Night Raw, which may or may not be uploaded on Monday. May upload on Tuesday, a little later, just to let King of the Ring grow a little bit. And to get a little bit of memory, booking in my head. Either way, hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you guys later.